Hello there. Thank you for joining us. If you're joining us now, welcome. Or if you do watch the replay and you'd like to ask us a question, reach out to us, then please do so in the chat below or comments on the LinkedIn event page, and we'll be sure to pick it up. So I'm Joyce, Marketing Tech. We're a one stop shop for affordable mobile apps and SEO. Really pleased to have Shilpa P here with me in the studio today. So Shilpa is a serial entrepreneur and a business growth coach, and she started several successful businesses, including an agency which she's exited from. And I always want to quote her motto, which is, and I always envy this: "Love Mondays, free Fridays." Is that right, Shilpa?
It's ended up being a little bit of a philosophy to the extent that I wrote a book on how we can grow businesses that are systemized and structured
Mm-hmm.
that we love, because I remember when I was in the corporate world, Joyce, I hated Mondays. I had anxiety.
Yeah.
And as entrepreneurs and business owners, we're dying to go back to the office, I think. And Friday's always a good day to take off. And it's a great
Yes.
day for catching up with other stuff. And good to see you this morning.
Yeah, good to see you too. And I think we may have Timothy, I hope is joining us because we're having our LinkedIn Live at 10 a.m. this morning. So hopefully Tim is there from Australia, Sydney. Welcome, Tim, if you're there. So
Welcome
yeah,
all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah,
yeah.
Joyce, you asked me to talk about
Hmm.
how agencies, creatives can do this age-old thing of standing out from their competitors. Um, First of
Yeah.
all, when I ran my agency, I always used to worry about the competition. I used to
Hmm.
think,
Hmm.
wow, these are competitors. I have to be as good as them.
Yeah.
Look at them. They're doing so well. How am I ever going to get to that stage?
Hmm.
And after all these years of business, I actually value competitors, and I ask everyone that I work with in my community to value competitors, because you know what competitors give us is a phenomenal research point, and they're
Hmm.
enabling us to actually understand our own business, our
Yeah.
domain, our niche, and the market sector that we work in a very deep level. And I think that's really, really important to do as when we run a business. How are they doing business? How are they attracting clients? Is there something for us to learn there? When you've got a client, you want to retain them. And I think retention strategies are a whole big thing, because
Hmm.
we all know it costs so much to acquire a client, especially in the digital realms. When I started my agency 15 years ago now, it was a different ball game because it was very new. People didn't really have the fundamentals of social media presences, channels. We didn't really have paid ads then. In those days, we would put a post on a business page, and boom, you'd get all these people buying your services. It was quite phenomenal. But as
Yeah.
with
Hmm.
anything, markets mature. So I think it's really good to first of all, be very happy with competitors and evaluate their strategies, evaluate their positioning, evaluate their customer service, because we all talk about customer service, but how many business to
Hmm.
business people provide it? We talk about it at the retail level, the hospitality level. We were out last night and we had a bottle of wine and they charged us very happy 20%. But you know what? Nobody came and poured that bottle of wine, which is service and would have made us feel good. In a business agency setting, what are
Hmm.
you doing that little bit extra? What time periods are you responding to your customers in? And
Hmm.
how are they feeling about having you as their digital marketing agency creative presence in whatever format they do? So I think competition is really good in any industry, especially
Hmm.
this agency field or creative field. There's lots of competitors. And what does
How
that
do
mean?
you, how, sorry, Shilpa, just curious. So you mentioned competition, it's good, and understanding the competition is good, and how they provide these services. So how do you go about checking out the competition, doing your research? Could you share some tips to do
we
that?
we have a phenomenal tool. called Uncle Google, and going deep into Uncle Google and evaluating it through maybe having a sheet of areas that you're looking for so you can have a real amazing view of a competitor landscape. There's lots of listening tools available, and they tend to be more used by larger companies. But
Hmm.
listen to what your competitors are saying, track what they're
Yeah.
talking about, to actually understand in great depth what
Hmm.
maybe your top five competitors are. These may be competitors in size, these may be
Yeah.
competitors in industry, these may be competitors in a service, and
Hmm.
these may be direct competitors because you started hearing that a lot of your clients are going across to them. And it may be a geographical thing. Maybe in your locality, you're looking for local business owners, and you find that you have a couple of competitors there. There's also an opportunity when you know your competitor to see if there's any form of collaboration. Because I'm very much of the mindset that competition is old economy and collaboration is most certainly the new economy. So, is there something that you could both work together on a project or a program or a provision,
Hmm.
given that we're now so easily global businesses?
Yes, I mean, yeah, I would share that mindset with you because it's easy to think that someone is a competitor just because they're in the same field, but that's not always the case because, that's one thing about segmentation. So we may be offering the same services in the same industry, and that makes us appear to be competitors, but we may be looking at different demographic, client demographic, for example, working in different locations, and therefore there possibly could be some scope for collaboration there. So, for example, we are an app development agency. We take on certain size projects, but we also do work with larger app development agencies who take on larger projects and therefore refer to us. So on and so forth. So it's just looking at it in a with a different perspective there. Which is great. So, shall we move on to talk about a market dominating position, Shilpa? Are you happy to talk about that and how we can actually do that? What does that mean?
I'd love to talk about it. It's one of the fundamental pillars of my business consulting, my business coaching. When you can dominate your marketplace and you can be a go-to business, Joyce, how some businesses, they just automatically attract clients. Maybe they're a niche, maybe they're the Dollar Shaving Club. They're different
Hmm.
and they attract business. Maybe they've got a very strong brand
Yeah.
name, and people come to them. But how about if you're a small business owner and you are so well known for what you do that people seek you out because they heard about you? Now, is there anything stronger than word of mouth marketing? But today in the digital age, we're backing that up, that word of mouth marketing, with social media marketing, which to me is one and the same. So how do you create a market dominating position? How do you create a business that stands out from the others? Look at what it is that you're providing that customers want. You know how a lot of business owners say, I'm really good at this. I'm going to set up a business doing this. But turn it around. What is it that clients want? What our business is crying out for that you can say, there's your pain, and I've got a solution to that. Because they're always going to have pains. And if we can stop those pains for them, give them a solution, you've got business that's going to carry on till the world stops.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
find out what those pains are and be creative in your positioning, in your marketing, in your service position provision, in the way that you show up, in the way that you market. Find that uniqueness. And that's a hard one because when clients first come to me, and we do this, and I do this in
Hmm.
my accelerators, I do this one to one. Sometimes it takes up to 6 months, 7 months, and that's understandable because if you can get that bit right, that
Hmm.
differentiator right in your business,
Yes.
then you will easily do the rest of the stuff in business.
That's the first place to start, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Defining your position, and you need to test it with the market as well, because we're not always right first time round, and we just need to change it. Be prepared to change it if the market does not quite take that product or service well enough.
First rule of marketing: do A/B testing.
Mm-hmm.
So most certainly. So find out where you can. Is it a market niche? Is it a service position niche? Is it a
Yeah.
results niche? Is it a guarantee that you're providing? Are you
Mm-hmm.
collaborating with someone to create something new? I can't emphasize that creativeness, that innovation, that opportunity there. Um, I just can't emphasize it as much, because if you can find that and work on it and go through a process, a clear process to achieve that, then your life becomes so much easier in being that go-to business, because businesses will seek you out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's perfect. Um, so any tips on that? How we can actually get started to do that? I mean, anything? Is there something you can share that they can start doing it themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. A good starting point would be to make a list of your clients' pains. What
Mm-hmm.
what
Mm-hmm.
is it that they're saying? Um, you know how we always talk in business: know your clients, know your competitors, because
Mm-hmm.
it's that research and it's that understanding of that sector that you can find these little golden nuggets,
Mm-hmm.
which gives you an opportunity to build a business around it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's that depth of market research that you go into. Are you doing desk research with Uncle Google? Are you going into market research papers? Are you sending out a couple of surveys? People love
Yeah.
surveys. Are you
Yes.
doing some LinkedIn polls? There's a number of areas for you to actually evaluate what are the problems they're facing. The biggest opportunity you have for actually finding out your customers' problems is when you take on a new customer, when you're having that conversation. I always
Mm-hmm.
call it the conversion conversation, that because it is just a conversation in trying to understand what their problem areas are. And often these are their problems, this is where they want to be, and this is the gap that we want to fill.
Yeah.
Is it they want to have a certain amount of leads, and this is their position at the moment? Then what strategies are we giving them to get that number of leads? So I think it's getting really deep into your clients'
Mm-hmm.
minds, their business models, and appreciating what their challenges are, so that you've got an opportunity to say, this is how I'm going to pivot my business, grow my business, do it differently.
And sometimes it's also the fact that we have our clients and we've been working with them for a while, but oftentimes we don't ask them or we don't send out surveys, a simple survey to them to ask them, how it has it been? Are they happy with their interactions with us? Sometimes a simple survey will tell us quite a lot of things that they may not otherwise want to tell us face to face or in a Zoom call. So I think it's also surveying our existing clients that we'll also learn quite a lot from them.
It's a great tip, that creating those surveys and the way that you've talked about it and making that difference. And sometimes getting on the phone to them, Joyce. Just
Skip, what's that?
getting on the phone to them,
Yes.
picking your top 10 clients and reaching out, having a conversation, what's happening, what's not happening. I think in today's digital world, we forget to connect and communicate and actually get to the depths of what the challenges are, and seeing if there's an opportunity to put another layer even in your service by having regular review meetings, which is often a very great retention strategy anyway. Before
Mm-hmm,
the client
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
has any problems and they leave, you've actually evaluated what those potential problems are.
Yes, I think that's something you do very well as a digital pub, because you're all for in-person meetings, having lunch meetings, a coffee, face-to-face meetings. And we shouldn't ever sort of negate or ignore the fact that in-person meetings still hold a lot of weight, and it's quite easy to get carried away with just meeting clients on Zoom, but I think that in-person meeting is very, very valuable as well. You do that very well.
Thank you, Joyce. I think if the opportunity allows, we're all global, so it's impossible to have
Mm.
face to face, but we can still bring in that personal touch, which I think is
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um,
Yeah. Shall we talk a little bit about pricing or value-based pricing? And that's what I would call it. I think that's what you'll be talking about. Am I right? How to charge more, how to price your services more.
so it's difficult to talk about that in a few minutes. But what are the key elements that
Yeah.
comprise pricing and finding a strategy that sits well with you? So a lot of agencies and creatives will not want to charge more for their services because they've often grown to a level and they've got
Hmm.
clients, whether they're small or whether they've hit the first million or the first 5 million. They've got a bunch of clients. They don't want to lose their clients because they believe that clients are price sensitive. But in actual fact, if you think about the world, we've seen price increases in everything, every single thing. So,
Yeah.
firstly, if someone wants to increase their prices, clients are actually expecting it because the cost of living has changed and the cost of
Hmm.
running a business has changed. So, I think there's an opportunity there. I think when you're looking to charge premium prices, as I call them, for your services,
Hmm.
I think that really comes down to the immense difference in value that you provide to your competitors. And customers who are not price sensitive and who appreciate the results that you give them in a service business are really going to appreciate that and absolutely have no objection. So the next thing is how to install that pricing strategy into your business and make pricing changes. And often it's a psychological business element from the individual, and
Hmm.
it's also the know how, and it's
Yeah.
also the fear. One of the things I do, Joyce, is I sit down, I work with a range of different business coaching software, and I plug in numbers to
Hmm.
show a client that if you increase your price by 10%, then this is the impact it's going to have on your profit. And if we did 10, 10, 10 in three areas, and that could be a 10% reduction in price, a 10% reduction in number of leads that we get, and a 10% reduction in our costs, then something like that could have quite a magnificent, through the power of compounding, could have quite a magnificent impact on profit. Because it's
Hmm.
great that we have increased prices and we have growth, but ultimately, we're all really, really interested in growing our profits and having more money in our back pocket to take home. So it's a number of things that
Yeah.
we need to look at to grow our business, to grow our agency, to make more profit. And it's I've identified 52 levers. And often I find that in any one year, if we work on 12 of those levers with any one company, it makes a massive difference to them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And also sometimes, if I may add, it's also the fear of increasing our prices because we're going to lose a few customers, and we will be losing a few customers perhaps by raising our prices by 10%. So I think it's that real fear we're going to lose them, and it's easy to let that fear get in the way of business growth and actually increasing the prices and actually see new customers, maybe a new customer base altogether that we didn't used to have before. Isn't that right? So it's just taking that step forward.
So when you map out your pricing strategy in terms of price increase, and then you make an estimation to how many customers you think you're going to lose, the money that you've made by increasing your prices often is greater than the number of clients you would lose.
Hmm.
So that's an exercise I teach my clients, that let's have a look at what percentage of business you could actually lose by
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah.
And
I think
that
that's a
works really well.
huge. That's a really valuable uh, sort of mindset change. I would say. Yeah. So
But
this
you're very
is.
right. The psychology of pricing and charging
Hmm.
more and questioning that. And the other big thing with agency owners and creatives
Hmm.
is scope creep. You know, how many times have we done something extra for a client and not charge for it. And many people that
Quite
I work
often.
don't even have it in their contract, you know.
No, exactly.
Um,
And that's the risky part, isn't it?
yeah,
Just to please the client, we just do a little bit here. Oh, okay, it's all right then. Yeah, it's just a little bit. I'll do it. I'll do it for him. I won't charge him this time. I think that's a mistake
yes,
that
because
I'm guilty of making as well, just to keep the client.
it's
Yeah,
easily done. But
yeah,
if we've put it into our processes, into our
hmm,
contracts, it's part of our structured process.
yeah,
That if we've quoted for a piece of work and it goes over, then we've identified that and we've
hmm,
alerted the client to that. Then that's possibly if a small creative perhaps is charging, I don't know, £200 an hour, and
yeah,
they've done an extra 3 hours work, then that is an extra £600 um, profit, um,
hmm, yeah,
revenue to the
definitely.
business, not
Hmm,
profit, revenue to the business.
hmm,
And if you've done that for 10 clients, that's an extra 6 grand.
hmm,
Yeah. On a
yeah.
£100,000 turnover business, that's 6%. So that's quite nice.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think it's important, as you said, contracts are important and getting that right in the contracts, and also making it, setting a precedent, making it clear from the outset that this is how we work together. And so, it's just meeting the client's expectations and the client anticipating that this is how they're going to work. So I think mutual respect is important as well. I'm not sure if you'll be talking about that, but I really feel that that's really, in some cases, that's tied also to our values and mutual respect with the client, because we are experts after all. As an agency, we are delivering the work, and therefore there has to be some level of, I think, respect between the client and ourselves, if that makes sense.
I take respect as a given value in business,
Mm-hmm,
but it's
mm-hmm.
important. It's interesting that you brought it up, and I
Yeah.
do find a lot of creatives don't respect their work because perhaps they're new, they've
Yes.
come from a corporate background, and then coming into this world of trying to earn the next pound,
Yeah.
earn the next £1,000. It's challenging, and without these fundamentals in place, they
Mm-hmm,
don't
mm-hmm.
really understand how to make their first £10,000 a month. They don't understand how to make
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
£20,000 extra
Yes.
a month.
Mm. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, so it's, well, it's a learning curve, isn't it? Finding the right client, that there's a client fit, they align with your values. Um, it's all a learning curve. Anyway, shall we talk about, what's happening next week, Shilpa? Moving on.
Yeah, fantastic,
Yeah.
Joyce. Really excited to work with you on a merged focus group. I've been running focus groups for a couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
and what they are, they're a small workshop where we sit around a boardroom table, and I go
Yes.
through 7 strategies that are going
Mm-hmm.
to add increased profit and growth to your business and valuation if there's an opportunity there. And these are not been digital strategies historically for me. They've been, what can you do which is going to be different to make you that go-to business that I talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been great to create these with you and run these with you. And you're bringing in the digital elements of marketing. You're talking about a little bit about funnels, and the strategic elements of it. We're not getting into the details. How does this fit
Yeah.
into your business? Because as agency owners, the dentist doesn't floss. The shoemaker's children don't wear shoes. It's so most marketeers and creatives that I work with haven't invested their skills in themselves. So it's a great opportunity to
Exactly.
actually
Mm.
work in your own business
Yeah.
and create some plans. So one morning, which is a Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
morning, we're in central London. We're going to huddle around. Joyce and I are going to share. We've probably got 60 years experience between us, Joyce.
Oh,
I'm
don't tell us how old we are.
it's my grey hairs now showing, which is good because with that experience comes a lot of mistakes. And I'm
Hmm.
always sharing with people that I work with that, you know, don't be scared of competitors. Look at their mistakes and learn from them, because that's given you a road which has been trodden on and can work really
Yeah.
well.
Hmm. Yeah, and also if I can add, it would be great to work with you, Shilpa, on these focus groups. It's going to be a small, exclusive, private focus group, so we're not, it's not a huge audience. It's a small group of people, less than 10 people in a room, and it will be in a central London location. And as Shilpa mentioned, we've got decades of experience in running businesses with Shilpa and business coaching and myself marketing, all aspects of marketing operations. So that probably between the two of us probably isn't a question that we can't answer. Um, and it would be great to have you if you want to join us. The focus group itself is called 8 Strategies to 10x Your Business Growth in 2023. So if you've never experienced a focus group before, then do come and join us. It'd be great to have you. Would you like to talk about what the format of the focus group is, Shilpa?
Yeah, we're going to go through
Mm.
5 to 6 strategies. We'll talk about them, apply them to your business. So at the end of
Yeah.
those 3 hours, you've gone away with a little bit more clarity on your business. You've implemented some of it. Of course, in that short period of time, you're not going to be able to implement all those strategies. But a lot of business owners come across opportunities and they don't know how to navigate them. How much time do we spend delivering to our clients, working
Hmm.
inside our business, but very little on the outside? So at the end of those 3 hours, um, I'm hoping that everyone will go away with an action plan that they want to go away and implement. A little bit like some of the points that we've talked about here today.
Yeah.
How do they actually apply? So there's the opportunity for questions, the opportunity of hot seats, opportunity of working on your business. And we all learn so much from other people. And every focus group I've been in, there's so many battle scars in the room. And it's great to have different perspectives from different business owners
Hmm.
and their experiences to give you this very unique, beautiful experience of taking this away on a regular basis.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable, and you don't often find that scenario in a room full of people with battle scars, running businesses. They're learning, they're exchanging information at the same time, exchanging their own experiences at the same time. I think that's super valuable there. So, oh, by the way, Sheila's here. Sheila, hi. Just saw your message. I hope you're still there. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you support us, and Sheila will be joining us next week in a focus group. So, before we conclude, Shilpa, would there be anything you'd like to add to the session here?
I wrote 5 points down in
Okay.
line with what we were going to talk about today. And I've
Hmm.
already talked about pricing, I've really talked about your competitors, I've talked about immense, amazing customer service. Sit and evaluate that. One of the exercises that I do is the customer journey, the customer touch points. So when a customer comes to you, what are the touch points they go to and what is the experience they have? If you're a sole trader, maybe it's just you.
Hmm.
If you run with a small team, what are the experiences they have there? Really important to map that out for yourself and see what
Hmm.
happens,
Hmm.
what can be going well there. And the other closing point I'd like to suggest is think about how your offer can be dynamic and compelling to help you stand out from the competitors. Most agencies, creatives are doing the same thing, but how are you attracting customers? We talked about our own marketing, we talked about showing up, we talked about our tone of voice, our positioning, but how can you actually hook customers with offers? And we see it in this industry a lot. It's often a free call. I don't know. I feel a little bit bored with, oh, should we just jump on a call? People don't have that level of time. Whereas if you've got some offers which are a bit dynamic, a bit compelling, you've got some reports, you're
Hmm.
offering, a seminar which your clients will come together on. These are all added value which help you to stand out, help you to create loyalty, and help you to grow your business, your profit, and have more time to enjoy life and squeeze your children and do wonderful things.
Mm, yeah.
'Cause
So a bit of educating them, providing education is valuable as well, so that they can learn during the process. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Create something different and
Yeah.
dynamic and compelling,
Okay.
um, which is going to attract your customers to talk to them. Because sometimes we just
Mm.
need a hook so that we have
Yeah.
that conversation with them. We do that for our clients in marketing.
Yeah.
How can we do it for ourselves so that we speak to more clients?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Excellent. Is there anything else? Other points?
I think we've had a great conversation. We've covered a lot of points. The barcode is on the screen. If anybody wants to join us or watching us later, come along. Love to have you. We run these focus groups every single month towards the end of the
That's
year,
right.
and maybe in
Mm.
August. Joyce is going to Singapore, so she may stream in from Singapore, or
Oh
we may
dear.
stream in
Am I?
online and run it online.
Okay.
So it's an opportunity to think about that every single month. There's an opportunity to sit with us. Every month is different. We've got people that come in every month, but it's
Mm.
an opportunity to maybe not engage in one of our programs and have a full on experience, but an opportunity at a really small entry fee. We charge £97 plus VAT for them to experience new thinking for your business. People that have been on my focus groups in the past have gone back and made one strategy change.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the biggest one, Joyce, is pricing. And
Yes.
one lady, she runs a business where she creates and teaches landlords to do an Airbnb kind of model with their business. So they are getting more profit and more revenue for that product than they would in the normal rental market, the short term rental market. And immediately within that week, she increased her prices by something like 12%. And Ram said, I can't believe it. I've got a 12% increase in pricing because in those 3.5 hours I spent with you, I got a lot of confidence, know how,
Mm-hmm.
and support on creating this. So, fantastic result.
It is fantastic, and pricing is a huge topic, and I'm sure it's a really popular topic. But then you're also, and myself, both of us, we're also covering lots of other different aspects as well. So there's a lot of value in there, and I think for each attendee to the focus group, you may take different things out of it, and if you can just apply, like you said, just one thing, one inspiration, one bit of suggestion, advice, then I think that would change your business. So it's just finding what works for your business. Obviously, every
Indeed.
business is different, so different things may relate to your own business. So hopefully you can join us. And Shilpa says, I'm looking forward to your course. Looking forward to have you with us, Sheila. Sheila, sorry, I said Shilpa.
She's the better looking one. We always get mixed up. I think it's the hair.
Who, Sheila?
Sheila's the better looking
She's
one.
keeping very quiet now, but never mind. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, everyone, and thanks, Shilpa, for being here today,
Thank
this
you, everyone.
morning.
Thank you, Joyce, for hosting.
And we'll hope to see some of you guys next week, next Tuesday. Thank you. If you stay with me for a minute, Shilpa,